The hardware wallet industry is more competitive now than ever, so to stand out, hardware wallet manufacturers are trying to find their competitive edge, and one way they do this is by offering more features than their competitors, which is exactly what OneKey has done with the OneKey Pro. However, there is one crucial aspect that OneKey might have overlooked, which we'll discuss in this video, and for some of you, it might be a deal breaker, especially for $278. Of course, I'll let you decide that, but if you do end up liking the OneKey Pro, there is a 5% discount in the description of this video that you can use at checkout. All right, so first things first, let's see what we get when we unbox the OneKey Pro. I've always been a fan of OneKey's packaging. I like that the box has 2 tearaway tabs on the back for added security, and the packaging just looks really good. Inside the box, we get some paper waste, a user guide, the OneKey Pro, of course, a USB-C cable, and a few recovery phrase sheets. The Pro comes completely wrapped in a OneKey branded security seal, and I think it's really cool how each layer from the packaging to the internal components of the hardware wallet is all security centric. If nothing else, the whole unboxing experience is reassuring. All right, with the Pro unwrapped, let's take a close look at the design. First impressions, it looks really sleek, especially compared to past OneKey wallets. Not only is it smaller and more compact, but it has a smooth, glossy finish that wraps around the entire device. It's made from aluminum alloy, so it's lightweight, weighing just under 55 grams, and it feels almost perfect in my palm. I like that I can reach anywhere on the screen without having to adjust my hand position, and the sharper edges give it a secure grip, so it doesn't feel like it's going to slip out of my hand. The rounded corners also remind me of the newer iPhones, which makes the Pro look that much better. The only button on this wallet is a power button on the right side, which doubles as a biometric fingerprint scanner. More on that later. There's also a USB-C port on the bottom for charging the device and connecting it to your computer to manage your crypto. The glossy finish carries over to the backside, which looks really good, but it does show a lot of fingerprints, especially on this black model. There's also a cute little HD camera. No, it's not for taking selfies, so don't get too excited, but it does work really well for using the wallet in the optional air gap mode. There's even a flashlight so you can use it in low light areas. The Pro also has the largest screen of any OneKey wallet with a 3.5-inch IPS color touchscreen that includes haptic feedback, which you can toggle on and off in the settings. When I first turned it on, I immediately noticed how large the buttons were. I have sausage fingers, so with smaller touchscreen wallets, sometimes I fat finger stuff, which is definitely not the best thing to do in crypto. But with the Pro, the buttons are big enough that I don't have to worry about pressing the wrong one, and I can clearly see what I'm pressing. The touch sensitivity is also really good, so when I tap something, the screen knows exactly where I'm tapping versus some other hardware wallets that I've used where they're not as accurate. I do notice a bit of screen lag when scrolling, which seems to be common across all touchscreen hardware wallets, so I'm still waiting for the day when there is a touchscreen hardware wallet that doesn't lag. But while we wait for a wallet without screen lag, let's talk about all the features the Pro has, along with its one big flaw. As I mentioned earlier, the power button on the Pro doubles as a biometric fingerprint scanner that you can use to access the device. This is nice because your PIN can be up to 50 digits depending on how robust you make it, so having the option to scan your finger is convenient. However, I found setting up the fingerprint scanner to be a bit confusing at first because you do have to tap your finger multiple times so that the wallet can get a good reading. However, it wasn't working initially, but I found out it works best if you slide your finger around with each tap to get a better scan. Of course, this is an optional feature, so you can enable it or disable it in the settings, and you can set up to 3 separate fingerprints. Continuing with the external features, the camera on the back lets you use the Pro's optional air gap mode. This mode disables Bluetooth, USB, and NFC capabilities, letting you approve transactions offline through QR codes using the camera. I've noticed some wallets like the Keystone 3 Pro and of course the OneKey Pro are starting to offer this optional air gap mode, which is great because some users only like hardware wallets that are air gapped, while other users could care less. So the fact that they're giving us the choice to decide is really nice, and it just creates a better overall user experience. Not only that, but the Pro and really all OneKey wallets offer some of the best device compatibility on the market. So the OneKey app can be used on Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, and Android devices, giving you the ability to manage your crypto on practically any device you want. The Pro is also compatible with some of the most popular software wallets, including MetaMask, Trezor Web Wallet, Sparrow, and Bitcoin Core, just to name a few. Plus, the Pro offers multiple connectivity options, assuming you don't use it in the air gap mode, so you can connect it to your desktop device using the USB-C cable, or you can use it with your mobile device using Bluetooth. The Pro also comes equipped with an NFC antenna you can use to back up and import your recovery phrase without ever having to write it down or enter your seed phrase using the OneKey Lite card, which is a secure card for storing your seed phrase. So the OneKey Lite card is a separate product that OneKey offers, and it uses an EAL6 Plus secure element chip along with your user-generated PIN to protect your seed phrase. For only $20, it is really affordable. Of course, you don't need this card. You can just write down your seed phrase and store it in a secure location as normal. Plus, the Pro doesn't even seem to support the OneKey Lite yet, so until OneKey fixes this, it's kind of a pointless product. But speaking of secure element chips, the OneKey Pro is actually the first OneKey wallet. Actually, it's the only hardware wallet to ever use 4 EAL6 Plus secure element chips in a single device, which sounds really great, but my first thought was, why does a Pro need 4 secure element chips? Why can't it just use one like other hardware wallets? So I thought I better ask OneKey, and here's what they said. The design provides room for future updates and new blockchain integrations. Also, each chip's security is on par with that of a single chip. Honestly, I'm not sure how many updates OneKey plans to implement on the OneKey Pro, but to me it's kind of odd that they need 4 secure element chips to do this, when other hardware wallets like Ledger and Trezor, who also use a secure element chip, can get away with just using a single chip. But as long as my crypto is secure, that's what I care about. That said, you already know what that means since the OneKey Pro uses EAL certified chips, which are of the highest security standard. The chips in this wallet are closed source, and that's to protect the intellectual property of the chip manufacturer as well as the code itself, which in turn keeps our wallet more secure. That said, the firmware on the device and the OneKey app are 100% open source and viewable on GitHub. Plus, if you're worried about the legitimacy of OneKey's code or firmware, there is some comfort in knowing they get regular audits done by Slowmist, a well-known blockchain security firm that's also audited big names like Amazon Web Services, Binance, Rabi Wallet, and a bunch of other blockchain companies. The Pro also supports importing and generating a 12, 18, or 24-word seed phrase, and it also supports creating a hidden wallet or passphrase for additional security. So without a doubt, the Pro is packed full of a ton of different features. However, the OneKey Pro has one huge flaw, and if you haven't already guessed, it's the battery. For some reason, OneKey decided to put a smaller battery in the Pro than what you'll find in the Touch, and the Touch uses less battery considering it has a smaller screen, it doesn't have a camera, and it doesn't have a flashlight. So why OneKey decided to downgrade to a 530 mAh battery is beyond me. I mean, even if they just kept the 800 mAh battery they used in the Touch, this thing would be a beast, but instead we get a battery that gives us less than optimal battery life. Now don't get me wrong, the Pro is still perfectly usable. The battery's going to last long enough so that you can do all your crypto transactions and everything else you need to do. I used it for 1 hour straight with the screen brightness turned all the way up, and the battery drained a good 30% in that time. What's annoying though is that I turned it off when it was at about 50%. I left it on my desk overnight, and then when I came back to it the next day, it had drained another 20 to 30%. The good thing, at least, is that even if the battery is dead, you can connect it to the USB-C cable and use it just plugged in. Also, it warns you to fully charge the battery before storing it away, which I didn't do, so I'm sure that would help. Also, there are several things you can do to increase battery life, such as dimming the screen, turning off the haptic touch and display animations, as well as enabling the auto shutdown feature, preferably setting it to 1 or 2 minutes so it's not always on standby. On the bright side, the battery charges quickly because it's so small. I plugged it in when it was at 5%, and it only took 1 hour to reach 100%. Also, it supports wireless charging, which is a cool modern feature that I can't really complain about. So is the battery a deal breaker? For me, it's not, but for $278, it is worth considering other hardware wallets with a touchscreen, such as the Trezor Safe 5 or the Ledger Flex, which of course all hardware wallets have their pros and cons. And for example, the Trezor doesn't even have a battery in it, so there's that. I've got some promising news though. I did mention the battery issue to OneKey and ask if they could maybe do a firmware update to improve the battery life, and they did say that they can release a firmware update to improve battery consumption, and they're actually working on this as we speak. I remember Keystone had to do the same thing with their Keystone 3 Pro wallet, and after the firmware update, the battery life did improve a lot, so I'm hopeful that OneKey can do this too. But aside from the battery issue, the OneKey app also needs some work. While I find it easy to use, it is kind of buggy, it takes a while to load sometimes, and I had some issues connecting it both to my computer and my mobile phone. I was able to update the firmware on the Pro, and it did seem to solve all my connectivity issues. However, the OneKey app still lacks in user friendliness. On the other hand, the app does have a lot of useful features such as live market data, in-app trading, and a dApp browser. So no, it's not perfect, but it is good enough to manage your crypto and do everything that you need to do. That said, you can test out the OneKey app for yourself. Before you ever buy a OneKey hardware wallet, just download the app on your preferred device and you can set it up as a hot wallet and test it out, and it has all the same features minus the hardware wallet stuff. Speaking of the hardware wallet stuff, I want to show you how to connect the Pro to the OneKey app. I also want to show you some really important features in the app that you should know about. But before I show you that, let's quickly walk through the setup process for the OneKey Pro. To get started, power on the OneKey Pro, choose your preferred language. Next, either create a new wallet or import an existing seed phrase if you have one. I'm going to create a new wallet. Next, we need to enable PIN protection and set a robust PIN between 4 to 50 digits. The longer the better, so don't do what I did and enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from there, we just need to re-enter our PIN to confirm it. This next step is where you can set up the biometric fingerprint scanner. Again, this is optional and you can always set it up later in the settings, but I want to show you how I got mine to work because it's kind of tricky. If you just tap your finger in the same spot every time, it's not going to work. So I tried sliding my finger up and down and kind of rolling it just slightly each time I tapped, and that seemed to do the trick. The last step is to back up your seed phrase, so write down all your words in the correct order, then re-enter each word to confirm you wrote it down correctly. Once that's done, you can download the OneKey app and connect it to your wallet. The safest option to download the OneKey app is to scan the QR code on the Pro and download it from there. All right, now moving on. So to connect the Pro to the OneKey app, open up your OneKey app on your preferred device and tap Connect Hardware Wallet. If you're using a mobile device, you'll need to connect it via Bluetooth, so make sure it's turned on for both your wallet and your phone. If you're using a computer, you need to use a USB-C cable. Then select the OneKey Pro once it appears and give it a few seconds to sync. It can take a while sometimes. After that, tap Let's Go, and once your wallet is connected to the app, there are a few important things you should know how to do. First one is check for firmware updates. Checking for firmware updates is actually super simple. Just tap the wallet icon in the app, then tap the 3 little dots and select Check for Updates. If an update is available, the app will let you know and you can download it. Another cool and useful function is the firmware authentication check. So to check that your firmware is authentic, just tap the wallet icon again, then the 3 dots, then About Device, and select Verification. Then you'll need to confirm the check on your Pro. Assuming you're running official firmware, it will say Verification Passed, and you can do this every time you update the firmware on your device if you want to. Next, to switch between networks, just tap the network icon near the top of the screen and select whichever network you want to manage. Moving on, I also want to show you how to send and receive crypto using the Pro. So to get started, just tap the network logo and select whichever crypto you want to receive in your wallet. I'm going to send some Solana to my Pro, so I just tap the Solana logo, and then since I've never used Solana on this device, I need to create a new address account. Something I really like about OneKey is that you can create multiple accounts with multiple receiving addresses. To do this, just tap on the network name, then the plus icon, and add account. From here, tap receive to get the Pro's receiving address. If you have your device near you, it's best to confirm the address on your hardware wallet matches what's displayed on the OneKey app. If you don't have your hardware wallet, then you would just say, I don't have my hardware wallet, and you just kind of have to trust the app. After confirming they match, you can either scan the QR code or copy the address. Next, I'm going to open up my Phantom software wallet where I have a few dollars worth of SOL, and I'm going to tap send. Then I just paste my OneKey Pro's receiving address in the recipient spot, enter the amount I want to send, and confirm the transaction. So now if we open up the OneKey app and let it refresh, you'll see that the SOL has arrived in my OneKey Pro. Next, let's send the SOL back to my Phantom software wallet. To do that, first I need to copy the receiving address from my Phantom wallet. So I'll just open up the Phantom wallet app, copy my receiving address. Then I'll go back to the OneKey app, tap send, and enter the amount that I want to send. I'm going to send it all back, so I'm just going to tap max and then hit next. Here you can change the transaction speed and view more details about the transaction. If everything looks good, tap confirm. Now all you have to do is confirm the transaction on the Pro, so tap confirm, then swipe to confirm the transaction, and as you can see, the SOL is already back in my Phantom wallet. Super easy. So is the Pro worth $278? I think so, but really only if you want a premium hardware wallet and if you plan to use all the features that it offers, such as the optional air gap mode and the wireless charging. That said, if the Pro is out of your price range, but you still want all the security features that it offers, you could opt for the OneKey Classic 1S, which is a fraction of the price at just under $100. And you can check out the 1S in this next video. I'll see you there. Peace out.